welcome to The Natural You. I'm your host, Tim Wood. This episode's guest is one of the most intuitive, gentle, and loving guys you'll ever meet, Jürgen Schmid. You're going to hear how this nature-loving German cycling champion made his transition from being a passionate physiotherapist to a vitalistic chiropractor. Greetings, everyone. This is Tim at The Natural You. Today I have Jürgen Schmid, who is a German. He lives in the southwest area of Germany. English is not his first language, so he has been very brave and has agreed, finally, after much arm twisting, to join us on The Natural You. So I've been trying to get him on for a while, so I'm really grateful that he's finally plucked up the courage to join me. And Jürgen I got to know through Chiro Wild, a project that we run. And to me, he's just one of the most gentle people and the most loving spirits I've met. So I wanted to share that with the listeners. Jürgen, welcome. And please tell us a little bit about yourself, and particularly how you kind of got into nature and what that brings to you.
Thank you, Tim, for having me in your podcast and for inviting me. And yes, I was thinking in the past weeks when you invited me about my past and how I was getting into nature. I remember when in my childhood I had a difficult childhood. My parents were in a divorce, and so I always got my freedom when I was outside in the woods and playing with my friends. And then I really got fall in love with cycling, having the wind around my hairs and just cycling around and losing any perception about time and where you are, just rolling the roads. I really fall in love with that. And my mother, she realized it very, very quick, and she supported me. I remember we had not many. The money was very, very less at that time, and she was a nurse, and she was going cleaning houses for buying my bike for being compatible to be in the club. And I remember my first day when I was in the club, my first training, really retraining. I was coming back home and was standing under the shower, and I could barely stand on the shower because I was so uh, overloaded with the training, but I was so happy. So being in nature is something where I learned getting control about my energy, about feeling myself in space, and feeling connected. And so this was my first step in nature.
And when you say connected, what does that feel like for you? What is it, a bodily experience? Is it an emotional feeling? How would you describe that?
I think what for me was important to get emotional relief. And when you get emotional relief, then you can be more aware of your body, like a workout. You do a work with your body and you feel yourself, and this is something where I felt connected to just get a feeling from myself.
So it's kind of connection to yourself, just kind of
Yes.
internal connection. Okay. And that kind of regulated your whole system and everything around you. And then from you're telling us about your cycling and how hard you trained. And I know you did, can you carry on with your story and your cycling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then you grow older and you got your hormones and then we have parties and everything else around. But and on the other side, you're talented for being a cyclist, a competitive cyclist, and but then everything got mandatory. So being in nature wasn't that part and not relaxing anymore. So it was connected with stress because you need to go out, even it's raining for training. And then I lost my passion about being outside, being in cycling, and I stopped. I quit cycling very early, and it was also in a time where I need to choose where my further life is going on, and I just became a physiotherapist, to be still able to connect to cycling or to be together with people. And this is something where I really want to go in, and to be self-employed one day. This was very important for me also. And I started in my study very early to work with national teams for cycling, support them with my knowledge about, but also with my treatments. And I fall then again in love with supporting the paracycling team, cyclists disabled cyclists. And the coach, my former coach, became national coach of the paracycling team, so he invited me, and then we worked many years together. And I was also very much in favor for working with this athlete, because when you're working as a physio with normal people in your job, then everybody's suffering about their disabilities, about their what they are not able to do anymore, about their pain, whatever. And then you see on the other side those athletes, and they're completely on the opposite, on the other side. They see what everything was good inside of them, what is left over after they had the accident and they're paralyzed now. But I can still move the other leg, and I can still be compatible and can climb mountains and go on racing. And then I can connect even with people all around the world. And I see I'm not alone. I see other ones, they have the same disability, and now we can fight together.
So it's really inspiring. I mean,
It's
to see.
inspiring very much. And so this creates a family, because I was growing up in a very competitive cycling part where everybody has a concurrence, and there's not sharing anything between each other and hiding things. And now everything was open. We are one family. And even on a world championship, and on the track, if somebody's tires get broken and we had no extra material, we can rent something from the United States or from the Italian or from whatever. So or if a team has no own physio with them, it was no question. They come to me, and I took care of them. So it
So
was,
really
yeah,
sharing,
sharing as one family.
sharing.
So this was really, really nice. And then I saw the also the way they got classified. And that time they classified for diagnosis, for diseases, and for impairments. And I could show them this is not the same what they show on a biomechanically on a bike is completely different, because they have abilities, they have ways to go and to adapt on the bike, and it's just not the same what they show on the bench when they tested them. And it was also in a time where a lot of sports got the change from getting to a functional classification system. So I was invited to a general assembly from the cerebral palsy sport, and I did a lecture for them for biomechanical sport. And a year later, they invited me to took the lead of classification worldwide. I was the head of classification for paracycling, and leaded as in the end for the UCI, for the organization for the cyclist, for 15 years. And I was writing with a little team together a completely new classification system to combine, like every athlete is combined. It doesn't matter if it was a cerebral palsy or if it's paralyzed or whatever. Beautiful
So you're kind
time.
of bringing the categories together so they can compete against each
Bring
other.
all the categories together, yeah. And so I saw a lot in the world. I went to 5 Paralympic Games. I saw a lot of world championships, Asian Games, Pan American Games, and I was able to see, not only as a tourist, we have been in families, we well got invited, and it was beautiful, nice time. And
Wow,
I
wow.
stopped 2014 because I was already getting too busy with my chiropractic, and there was a chiropractic study. I was able to study chiropractic in that age, and so I stopped.
So how did you get hear about chiropractic, and how did you get interested in it? Because obviously, physiotherapy, lots of things that kind of slide into chiropractic and similar, but obviously it's quite a different way of looking at things,
Absolutely.
and probably having already qualified as a physio and working in the sports world and having
Mm.
a very good reputation, obviously, and now suddenly you're going off into this wacky world of chiropractic. How did that come about, and What changed for you?
There was mm, I was no, I would love to be a physio, but I was not really happy. I couldn't tell you why. Today I know. It was in a time where I gave all my energy for my patients, and I say, "Oh, let me give me your pain, your dysfunction. Everything. I take it, and make you feel better." And it was really really suffering for me. So I felt often worse than my patients after the treatment, energetically, and also in myself was from a lot of maybe traumas I had from cycling or emotionally from my past. I started pain in my neck. What is really getting awful, and I couldn't work on as a physio. Even my best colleague couldn't fix me. What I say,
Yeah,
because it was said, please let your hands off, and it's getting worse and worse. Today I know that I help in that time my patients to maintain their disability or their dysfunction to feel it better over a longer period, but it's not getting solved. So there must be something more. But I went out of physiotherapy and I started a businesses with magnetic field therapy. So it was very famous in that time with pulsating magnetic field therapy, and at that time it was called alpha pulse therapy. What I started with two colleagues, and we got quite famous. We had famous soccer clubs, and I was living at that time in Hamburg, in north of Germany, and we had two famous soccer clubs with us, and then I was treated in that famous place at the Alster. It was a nice time, but I was feeling very bad for in my body. And then one day, somebody was coming and wanted to buy a machine from us and a device from us, and he had in his company he had a chiropractor. He was seeing me and said, "Oh, I think I need to check you." And I knew immediately that's as he's the right person. And he adjusted me the first time, and was not that everything was good afterwards, but it was a light was going on inside
just
of
like
me
that.
without anything knowing about. Yes, it was that. And then from that point, I wanted to know everything about chiropractic. So I everywhere in Germany, and I went for seminars. I was a long time in Berlin. There was the head quarter at that time for education for chiropractic, and even in Hamburg. I went and in Bremen. There was Bremen chiropractic days. So we had a quite good company all together. Everybody was searching and finding more out of it, and so this and it's and then of course in Germany we need to have a Heilpraktiker, and this takes all time. Otherwise, you're not allowed.
So in Germany, you have a Heilpraktiker, which is really, I think, a holistic therapist, right? Holistic
Yes,
practitioner,
it's a natural path.
natural practitioner, and anyone who's doing any kind of natural therapy, non-medical, has to go through the Heilpraktiker process, and you have to learn everything about everything, whether it's acupuncture or osteopathy or naturopathy or homeopathy or chiropractic. Everything gets put into one bundle, and you have to know about all of it. And then people tend to specialize in one area. Is that
Mm.
right?
That's right. Yes, and it's quite heavy to do it. It's not you cannot do it by just by chance. So you need to really to learn it, to focus on it. And I was procrastinating, so I pushed it forward and forward and forward. And then in 2009, I said I need to do it now. I already worked as a chiropractor, but still under a physio. And then I did my chiropractic exam, and then in what I said before in 2014, I had the chance. And I was already working only as a chiropractor, not as a physio anymore. And I had the chance to study in Hamburg at the Hamburg campus university in Hamburg, and this was a big chance to get in the international connection of chiropractic. So to see people like Arno Bonnier or like Pat and Aaron, and this really changed my mind. Arno Bonnier, he opened my athletic heart again. That is not a therapy. It's something what is inside of me, and it's I can train for, and I can become better by training different things. And this was really really a game changer for me.
So you
And
took that those competitive elements and training that you had in your cycling years, and you brought that over to your chiropractic studies and to use those same things to get better.
Yes, same like what I said with the disabled people. Like they love to train what's best inside of them. Now getting that in chiropractic again, and also to work with what is good inside the body, not giving that much attention to what is not working inside, because you can't change that.
Mm.
That's realize that was a game changer, and that's such a freedom for myself.
So how does that work for you in your day-to-day practice now, Jürgen? How do you bring those things in? What do you say to your clients, and how do you embody that in your practice?
Mhm. We have a family chiropractic practice here in Freiburg, so I see 80%. So I see only families. This is really, really amazing because I need to take care for infants and for high performance sport, for mothers, for old people, for everyone, and all love to come together. And what I tell these people in the beginning when they start with me, they need to find out why they are here. What is the cause of what is the reason they come to me and want to have a change, because they have been in so many places to change something what they don't like. So what is the real cause? And for getting the real cause, you need to get awareness of it. You can only get a responsibility for your body or for what you're doing when you get aware of it. Otherwise, you can't change anything, or you don't know what you're doing wrong. Because most people say, "Yeah, I'm doing yoga, I'm doing meditating, I'm doing whatever, everything I'm doing right, and eating right, and I'm feeling bad." And so we need to start with the very source of yourself, getting aware of yourself. And the best way of getting aware of yourself is getting connected. And the best thing what we can do as a chiropractor, we can connect people. We can how they can connect, and that we can give them the possibility to have better sense, what they smell, what they see, what they hear, what they taste, how they adapt against gravity, how they orientated in space. So and all this together is something where they where they get suddenly a different or a better feeling about yourself. They get a possibility to get a trust again inside their body, what they maybe lost over the past years. And I tell them after the adjustment, go out and walk. Walking is the most complex movement what you can do to embody your chiropractic adjustment what you have. Water yourself. And if you're walking, just listen what you listen, see what you see, feel what you feel, and don't expect anything, but hope everything what is around. Maybe you can feel it, see a different change or something what is slightly different than before. Then people come
So
in.
it's just that awareness, right? Just awareness of the senses, and
Mhm,
like you said, each one of those senses, just like, oh, how is my body working against gravity, or how is it working with gravity, and like you say, what you hear and smelling, which are the obvious ones, right? But the ones outside of us are quite obvious, but maybe the ones inside of us we tend to neglect. It's like
mhm,
because the world is happening out there,
right,
but our problems are all in here.
right.
So maybe if we bring awareness to what's going on inside, and starting off with maybe just like you say, how am I moving in space? Where's my head in space? Where's my arms? Where's my center of gravity?
Mhm.
Um, that awareness, just bringing focus back into the self, and not, oh, it's someone else doing something to me. It's all in me, isn't it?
Yes, it's all in you, and that's the source. And if you talk about emotion, for instance, it's energy in motion. It's a body language. Yeah, it's turned on by our thoughts, and it's stored in our body. And if you connect the brain with the body, the brain with the heart and the body, and then we will become aware of it. Maybe
So you said emotion is energy in motion,
energy in motion. Mhm.
and that's motion in. You feel that as motion within the body.
Yes, and it's twisted the body, and it makes all the aches and pain and whatever, because the body suddenly and in calling, hey, you need to change something. I'm dying, And so you need to give him a chance to open up it again. And if we adapt against gravity, and if the body is twisting because of his emotions, and it's turning on a different level, and then suddenly something's starting, and then when you tell the patients this, then they can suddenly understand. Okay, now I'm shifting. I feel my feet better on the ground, and I feel the energy is shifting, and then I can stand more upright, and then I have more energy left over in the evening. I can do more. I can move better. I can breathe better. I'm motivated to go to do something. And when you then tell them that you're part of nature and you should be in nature to reorganize yourself, to get to get nurtured by nature, um, and you bring people to
So
people.
that's always part of your care, is that
Yes.
once people are starting to feel more in themselves,
Mhm.
to say go into nature, and that helps you connect more and become, because nature is healing in itself, right?
Right.
So they're doing the healing inside, they're doing their healing,
Mhm.
but then nature can maybe contribute to that or make them more aware.
Yeah. And also, what they need to know that we are part of nature, and you cannot deal with nature. You need nurture nature that it heals by itself in its best timing. We cannot um, provoke it to heal. We need just to sit and wait and to bring more life in it, and to take this further, and to see that what we're doing is not a therapy. Something. It's an impulse. What gives people a possibility for development of themselves, getting more inside of themselves, and to know more about what they can plan, what they can do, what they love, what they don't like, what they should do more, what they should do less. This is all these kind of things what change, maybe get more and more to the cause why we are there. Yeah? Even if we understand it's a trauma what is long time ago, maybe then we go into to the symptoms, what brings us just there to that point, and then we can let it go, or the body can heal. And meanwhile, we can discover that we are perfect. It's just perfect inside.
And just listening to Jürgen, it makes me I'm drawn in, and I'm wondering if your clients feel that, is you, as you literally just nurture them, you just nurture them. Jürgen has the most beautiful soft hands when he's touching you, and you can hear in his voice, it's a super soft voice, and my feeling is that you just nurture them back into life, and they do all the healing and they do all that processing. You're not coaching them. You might give them some advice or suggest things, but you're not working it out for them. They're doing it all themselves, right?
No. Yes, all by himself. I say everything what I'm doing is um, should be easy, and everything should, but doing it should be in a healthy, in a positive way, in their perfect timing, what everybody is needing the time, and every time for the good of all. Yeah, it's nothing. There's no pressure on, and everybody need his time, and it's just a development. And often when I'm adjusting in a open space, I have 5 benches. I'm working simultaneously on. It's quiet, it's loving, it's a nice atmosphere, and very very much energetic inside. And I think it's all energy what we are working with, what we can help people to find their energy, feeling the energy, what they can't release, and they can feel themselves better, how they can release it, and then they grow. You can look how they grow, like a flower. They can grow, and yes, it's a very loving atmosphere here. Everybody's getting a hug after an adjustment.
And he gives good hugs. I can tell you that. So, but what's fascinating, if you just look at, I've seen some videos of Jürgen's practice, and I've chatted to him about how he works, and he doesn't even have a web page. There's no social media marketing. I think he's got an Instagram account now. It's probably not that active, but people just come to him because they've just heard about him and their friends bring them in, and so they're just drawn into this nurturing place. So it's just really inspirational just to Jurgen just being himself, and that allowing giving people that space to heal. So it's wonderful to see his practice thriving so much. And so Jurgen, what do you say is what give us maybe, because maybe I think a lot of us who in the caring world want to have that kind of space and offer that for our clients. Are there maybe you can give us three things? Is it a book? Is it a speaker? Is it a course? Something that really, for you, created kind of big step changes in the way that you view yourself or how you work with people. And I wonder if you could share one or two or three, if you have them, things that could maybe it might not work for everyone, but that maybe worked for you and could point us in the right direction.
I think, but this is for me also a path where I'm still on the path to get more inside of myself, getting myself connected to nature, and to even get better, because I think I can only feel inside of people what I can feel inside of myself. So I need to become better every day.
So work on ourselves before we work on others.
For me, every day I'm out in nature. We have a dog, a beautiful dog. My best time is being out in nature, and of course we have. I have a mastermind group. I have a lucky person. We have in a small mastermind group, and we meeting every 4 to 6 weeks together, and we do a lot of shamanic work together. Um, I love doing the shamanic work because again it's from the Paralympic family coming the chiropractic family, and now it's getting into the family of nature, because in the shamanic world is everything is Mama Earth, it's Father Sky, Father Sun. It's everything has is it's a relationship. So you start becoming building up a relationship with nature. You understand that you're coming from nature, and you return one day to nature. You're part of nature, and you can. And Pachamama that loves to get heavy energy, and you can give her your energy what you don't like, and she loves it. And she gives you back light energy, and you can s- straight stand into the sky, because Father Sky loves to get you energy, and then he nurtures you back with his energy, and you put it in your heart, and then you can send it back to the universe or to people you love. This is one circle around what nurtures.
So nature ceases being a physical thing,
Mhm.
or even energy thing. It's a very spiritual place for
Yes.
you. Nature is a complete. All of those aspects are spiritual.
Yeah, and especially in this time now, I see spiritual intention is getting more and more important. This is really what I love, because people are really searching for it. They're getting out of this material, mechanistic world, and want to search something what is nurturing themselves. So this is something what I really can give an advice. Do some meditations, shamanic work, doing some spiritual work, whatever they like. You know, what you said with my patients before, um, I don't give any advices, because I want to give everyone the chance to find themselves where they are. A patient just asked me, "What have you felt?" I'm really curious, because it felt so refreshing, and I was in his heart, and I've just felt like the fairy tale, the Prince Eisenheart, and I felt his chains around his heart, and
Wow.
helped him to relieve this energy, and to get more connection to his heart. But I don't tell, as I
You
like
don't
don't
tell them that. You just feel
no
it.
no, I don't want, and I don't want to give him any advices. I don't want to and to tell him.
Do you say I was feeling chains around your heart, or do you just leave them?
At that point, I told him because he wanted to know. But normally, I just let it by this because then I want to have them the chance to work with that. Maybe coming home, have a more loving atmosphere with their family, or with their friends, or with their job, or with their whatever. Don't. I don't want to frame it or to um, tell them what they should feel. So it should come from inside out.
Wonderful.
This is, I think, everybody should find their own ways without pressure. Don't should not cope because what he's doing is good because then I do it for me. Then it should work for me. Should really feel in inside. Is yoga something for me? Or is this good for me because somebody told me? Do I really like it? If I got a passion for it, it's beautiful. Then you should maintain and you should become better each day. This
Find
is with
find your
everything.
own way. There's something really beautiful.
Listen,
Is
yeah, listen to it.
and for in our own lives, finding that path, finding that passion, but just allowing that, because often we want to be prescriptive. Like, this has worked for 80% of the people, get better when we do this. It's like, well, what about,
Right.
that's the way. Maybe there are other ways to do that. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about our profession, is that there's so many ways. But what I love about your way is it's even broader than that. It's not saying, oh, you've got lots of different ways of getting there. It's like each person has their own way.
Mhm. But I understand the people asking because I was the same asking. In the beginning of chiropractic, I was very mechanistic. I think about the techniques and about I need to become perfect in techniques. And then you hear about, yeah, but techniques is only 10%, 90% is energy, is intention. You say, what is this? And then suddenly you feel when you got just this unconscious knowledge about what you're doing, then you start feeling what is going on. And then you know what is 90% energy can maybe be. This is the this is why it brings me more into nature and to shamanic work because this is exactly that what is the missing link between me and somebody I'm working with. And to get in this energy, you need to feel sometimes on it, not only feel it, just becoming aware of, because I don't want to feel it, but we getting aware of grief, sadness, aggression, or even love, freedom, joy. And if you can work with that energy, I think we can get more and more that people finding their cause, why they are limited, why they feel limited, because nobody's limited.
And how do you personally prepare to kind of be more of that before you see your patients or your clients? Are there things that you do to help you be more of that, to get into that state, or be more aware, more intuitive?
Oh yes, I meditate for every shift. Before I touch with my first patient, I want to be really on fire. I want to be inside myself. I want to be my best version of myself, and to start at that point. And for that, I do meditate. I do breathworks. I um, I bring myself energetically, like I'm on a firewalk, because I want on a firework you need to have a high energy like the fire. Otherwise, you get burned your feet. If you have this energy, you can walk even over coals. And
So you want to be back in your firewalk energy. You want to
I
be,
get that energy. I'm tuning myself up, and then I'm going for adjusting my
and
clients,
that's
and this
every time before you do that.
every time,
And how long
every
would
time.
that? How long does it take you now to get there?
There are times that I'm busy and I'm late in the office, and then it's just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I like to have at least a half an hour.
That's such a good lesson. Is prepare. I mean, you wouldn't think of going and doing a cycle race without doing some warm up, right?
No,
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't go into an exam without kind of preparing yourself and calming you down and making sure you've been to the loo and had, and it's that preparation, and I'm certainly guilty of that. Is I sometimes I'm really on it and I'm in early and everything's sorted, and then other times, like you say, you in the traffic and something happens and you rush in, and then it's important that you can drop in and
Yeah.
maybe just be that that firewalk energy.
Right, right. That's what I learned from yeah, from Arno Bonnier, from Brad Jones, from Marvin Talski, from Mark Hudson, from all the tribe, Kyle Europe, from the Syntropy, whatever. I did so many things in the past, and I will continue on to work with the best people, with the best chiropractors, and also with Carl Wild, where I met you. I made my biggest lesson there in our march through the night. I was really in a feeling where I probably, when I would be in a cycling stage, that in that moment I would quit, but I couldn't quit. We need to walk. We need to walk through. And then the next day to think about, okay, we survived that, and I'm still alive. And then continuing with having 24 hours, no food, no talking, no. It was amazing. Yeah.
You're not selling Cara Wild.
But Tim, this brought me all these kind of exercises. What we did together brought me to this shamanic work.
Mm.
This brought me to want to know more about it. There's some little milestones for me to get more knowledge about myself, about what I want to know about myself, and to get
And
become a better person.
what I love about your story, Jürgen, is it's just acknowledging those steps, right, and that process and that path you're walking, and you've looked back and you've seen where you've come from, and you still know there's more to go, and each of those are small little steps, and sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're easy, sometimes they, and but you're constantly working on those, and so you mentioned three things. You mentioned nature time. If people want to explore this way of being and living and working, is the first thing for you is getting into nature and just becoming aware of things in nature and yourself in nature. And then looking at more your spiritual side and what feels good for you and where you feel drawn to and exploring that more. And then finding your own way is the third thing. Um, and then bringing that all of those things into your work. So that's just really really nice to see how you look at your journey and that it's still going on. And I'm loving watching it, and I'm really interested to see where this takes you in your career and your life. So, and I know lots of people are looking on too. So I want to just say thank you for the work that you're doing with your people and how that's influencing them and opening them up. And that means we're all opening up. And so thank you, my friend. It's amazing work, and we're looking up to you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for inviting me.
Cool, man. And I've got one last question before we close out. What's alive in you right now, Jürgen?
Alive in me is mm, maybe the knowing that an intelligence in myself is taking mm, uh, responsibility um, for healing me, and this is alive, and then I can trust to this intelligence, and then trusting my
Trusting
innate
my innate
intelligence, and
intelligence.
I know that we can't maintain it. We need to work on it. This is still a process, so we need to get better each day, each week, each month, each year, and we can become more. We can become older and more healthy. It's nothing what is against. Because most people think they when they got older, I'm getting less healthy. So we can age and become more healthy. This is what is alive inside of mine of me,
Aging,
and
healthy aging, or aging in health.
this is and still being in this process and trusting that I can replace myself inside myself and to become each day better. And when I see photos for myself 10 or 15 years ago, even my two girls tell me this when they see pictures from me in the past and say, hey, Dad, you're looking much more healthy and much more pretty today than 10 or 15 years ago. I say, okay, that's a
Yeah,
pretty nice compliment.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
So this is something what is alive in me when you ask me like that.
So trusting my innate intelligence and aging in health.
Yes, definitely.
I love it. Well, we're gonna sign off with that, Jürgen. It's been amazing. Thank you for spending some time with us and sharing your story with us. It's hugely inspirational for me, and I'm sure other people will love your story. So thank you again, and I'll drop Jürgen's details in the show notes if anyone wants to reach out to him. I know he's a very generous guy, so I'm sure he'll give you some time. Thanks, Jürgen.
Thank you, Tim.
I love spending time with Jürgen, and I hope you did too. It was a challenge for him to come on the show and share his journey, especially when English is not his native tongue. That takes bravery. So I'm really grateful to him and for you to listening in. Please take a minute before you go and rate the podcast. I'd really appreciate that. I'll leave you with this last question. Can you become even healthier as you get older?